why is it that when he speaks of his career, it's always so driven to be so negative, to where that's the sole focus? And that's sad. It's sad for him.
Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros.
Well, we've seen Bret Hart has a lot of animosity towards Goldberg because of the kick. Yeah, the kick that ended his career back in 1999.
Somebody who's bitter. God bless.
Yeah.
He's a mess. But go ahead.
Yeah, so he's not been shy about this till this day. Well, Goldberg was on Busted Open Radio, and they asked him about it. And Goldberg said, "I love you, Bret. Don't be such a prick. That's all. Grow up. I love the guy. He's an icon. Just get over it. That's all. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? As a human being, yeah, it saddens me that he can't come to grips with the fact that it sucks, man. But I'm not going to be a victim of it. Not anymore."
Think about that, Al.
Wow. I know that Bret carries a lot of not just the injury, but he just seems to carry a lot of resentment in regards to the wrestling business and his experience in it for some reason. And for Bret, I feel bad. I really do, because I think that, no matter what, when you carry that kind of resentment about anything, it's never healthy. And I don't think it's healthy for Bret to carry that much resentment. And I don't know why Bret would have that much resentment overall for the wrestling business. I really don't, because when I see these interviews, and maybe I only see the clips, granted, because, they are just clips of interviews that, people take either the best or the worst out of. But considering the career that Bret had, I just don't understand where the anger and the resentment that he holds, so much of it is. I understand, hey, look, I get it. Like, the deal with Goldberg happened, and you got caught. But how many times throughout your career, did you get caught, where you got potatoed? And, granted, that potato, really did you a good one. But why are you holding so much, not resentment, but even where it's I don't know what the term would be, to where you hold so much to that one person and that one event. You know what I mean? And I feel bad for Bret. I really do, because considering how long of a career he had, and considering how much he achieved, and considering how much, he did within his career, and how many wonderful experiences he had, why is it that when he speaks of his career, it's always so driven to be so negative, to where that's the sole focus?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's sad. It's sad for him, that he cannot sit back at this point in his life and reflect on when somebody asks him about wrestling, and then him have a litany of positive experiences that he can relate every time someone, I respect the fact that he is very direct and he holds nothing back with his, remarks. and he's completely 100% honest. But you go and speak to him about wrestling of any sort, and the only thing you get is the negative. You never get, very rarely do you ever hear him talking about the positive of his career. And when you think back over the length of his career and all of the positive experiences he had to have had, the only thing he completely surrounds himself with and insulates himself with is the negative. And that's a terrible thing. I mean, it's disappointing, and it's sad for him that, that's the one thing he takes away from professional wrestling, an experience that lasted 30 plus years for him.
Al, it's that's really weird, like, to me too, because, bro, every time I'm asked about this guy, like, I put him on such a high pedestal.
It's called asked.
That I put him on such a high pedestal. And then, bro, when I go to WCW, and when I got there, they had absolutely done nothing with him. I tried to right that ship, wound up putting the belt back on him, trying to get him back in a prominent position. Bro, every word out of his mouth about me is hate. And I'm like, bro, I have no idea, like, what I ever did to you, bro. Like, I tried my best. I always treated you with the utmost respect. I still speak very highly of you to this day. But God, every time he talks about me, it's so negative, and I have no idea what I did to the guy.
But he talks about that. He talks about that about wrestling in general, like that, And I don't understand for something that his whole family obviously loved, and that was able to feed his whole family. I understand it didn't end the way he wanted it to end, and I understand too, like, a lot of older wrestlers, they become bitter because of the very fact that they are jealous of the younger generation, because they can't do what they used to do. You know what I mean? And they so desperately want to do that. And maybe that's it for Bret. Maybe it is Bret's in a situation where he is so resentful of the business because he no longer can do it at the level that he wants to do it. I don't know. I really feel bad for him. I really do. That because he can choose to focus on whatever he wants to choose to focus on. And he chooses what I've seen anyways, from the clips and the excerpts of different interviews. I've seen that he chooses to focus solely on in the negative, just and the wrestling business, quite honestly, it's not that bad. It's quite awesome. Honestly, it's pretty fucking awesome. I've been able to make a living for 42 years as a grown adult male, fake fighting other grown adult males in my underwear. And you can't take it that seriously, because let's face it, you could have been hammering nails, you could have been roofing, you could have been doing any number of other vocations. You drive to a town, you get to be a superhero no matter where you're at on the card for 2 hours, and then you go hang out with the boys and you go to bed. And the next morning you get up and do it again. That's not bad. It's not horrible. And I know how much everyone, especially these days in professional wrestling, like to walk around like it's a cross that they have to bear. But let's keep in mind, no one, even including Bret Hart, no one walked into Bret Hart's bedroom, stuck a gun to his head, and said, "You need to get up and go be a professional wrestler." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody told you, Vince, you've got to get involved in professional wrestling. They didn't force you to do it. So get off of it and let it go. Because let's face it, it's pretty fucking great to make a living in professional wrestling. Otherwise, why would everybody want to do it? You know what I mean? But everyone that's in it sit around and act like it is the worst thing they have to deal with. And they have sacrificed and they have done this and had that. And, oh my God, the challenges. Fuck off. You know, get over yourself. Seriously. And I really genuinely, I feel bad for Bret that he really seems to feel like that the majority of his life that he spent doing what he enjoyed, he claimed that he enjoyed doing, that now he just absolutely detests. That's tragic. It really is.
Yeah, Al, but I think there's more to it than that. I mean, let me give you a perspective as not one of the boys. I think what you could be feeling when you're older and you're retired and you're out of the business, I think what you could be feeling is, you know, it was a very thankless job. And I'll tell you why. Because come on, man, Al, I see it today. Bring you in, get everything they can out of you. Once, you know, you've got 10 concussions and you can no longer go and you're getting older, out with you, in with the next guy. I saw it happen a million times in my career, and that's the business. I understand that's the business. Al, don't be rubbing your eyes. When Steve Austin came into prominence, I firsthand, sitting in the first row, I saw Vince McMahon kick Shawn Michaels to the curb like he was nothing. After Shawn carried that company through the mid-90s when it sucked and it was Shawn as the champion, Shawn did everything he possibly could do. As soon as Vince had Austin, that was the whole heat between Shawn and Vince. He got kicked to the curb. If you're kicking Shawn Michaels to the curb, what are you doing to the mid-card guy? My point is, that's the business. I understand that's part of the business, and that's what you're getting into, and nobody put a gun to your head and said you got to get in the wrestling business. What I'm saying is, when you're retired and you're older and your body hurts and you can't get out of bed in the morning, these are the things that you remember. I don't think you're going to remember the good things, bro. I think you're going to remember the bad things, Al. You're still in the business, bro. Bret's not. Bret's mind probably
Bret's still in the business. Bret still does appearances.
Yeah, that's not
Bret
being in the business.
Does.
You know, I gotta tell you something. I don't like you at all today. Like you crapped on the conspiracy theories. Now you're crapping on. What would you wake up on the wrong side of the bed today, bro? Well, you didn't. Your wife didn't give you.
No. I'm trying to help you.
I'm telling you, Bret is broken down. His body hurts. His mind isn't working the way it used to, and he's reflecting back and looking at it and saying, "Was it all worth it?" That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. I understand that. You don't, because you're not empathetic like me. You got no empathy. You got no empathy like me.
Oh, I'm not empathetic like you.
Right.
I'm not empathetic like you. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I said. Yes. Because you're still out there, bro. You're still out there.
Hold on. I need to hear what you're saying.
You're not empathetic.
I need to get out and
you're not empathetic. You're not empathetic towards Bret. Okay? You're not empathetic towards Bret. I am.
Hold on. I'm gonna click out and I'm gonna come back in.
I might not bring you back in. How about that? All right, I'm not bringing him back in, Jeff. Yeah, no, I'm not letting him back in because I don't. He's got a very bad attitude today. He doesn't agree. I laid down beautiful conspiracy theories. I'm trying to be empathetic to Bret, bro, saying that this guy, his body hurts, bro. His mind is not working the same. I'm not letting you in. I'm not letting you in. I had enough of you today. I jumped to here today. I had enough of you today. I hope you liked the last video, and remember, man, you can go right now. If you've never been a Patreon subscriber, go right now to patreon.com/Russo TWC and get a free week of Russo's brand on me.
What's up, Brand? This is Jeff Lane inviting you to come hang out with me over on Twitch. I'm live several nights a week playing games, classic and new, currently going through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the new Contra game, and more. So check me out, Jeff Lane 22 on Twitch.
Pick up Mike Durbin's Conan action figure, bro. Look how beautiful this thing is. I freaking love the packaging, man. Look at this. MikeDurbin.com, guys. Help Mike out, man. This is a beautiful action figure, bro. Beautiful. MikeDurbin.com.